Welcome back, class. After finishing with the first chapter, that is The Best Christmas Present in the World by Michael Morpurgo, and solving the worksheets based on it, we are here on page number 17 with working with language, that is your grammar part. Okay? Working with language, page number 17. I request everyone to turn to page number 17. You need to keep the book in front of your eyes as well as listen to me. And while I'm reading from the text or I'm explaining, you have to look at the sentences, see for the examples, solve the questions in the textbook. Okay? So, working with language, page number 17, point number 1. Look at these sentences from the story. I spotted it in a junk shop in Bridport. The man said it was made in the early 19th century. This one was in bad condition. The words spotted, said, was are in the past tense. As we all know, right? They are in the simple past tense. They tell us what happened in the past, means before now. Now we are talking about them, we are telling someone about all these things, but they had happened in the past. Subpoint 1. Read the passage below and underline the verbs in the past tense. Now they have given a passage of 4 lines and you have to read the passage and underline the words in the past tense or verbs in the past tense. Like I have underlined a few: got, sat, was, took, and there are few others, okay, which you have to read, spot and underline. Fine. Now look at these sentences. After that small question, there are few sentences given below that. The veneer had lifted almost everywhere. Both fire and water had taken their toll on this desk. Did you notice the verb forms had lifted and had taken in the above sentence? Yes, definitely you did. There are two verbs, had and lifted, had and taken. Okay? The verb had represents the past perfect tense with the main verb in the V3 form. Okay? We have V1, V2 and V3 forms of the verbs. We have studied them. We have an idea about them. Words in the first form, second form and third form. So had plus verb in the third form, that is had plus verb in the V3 form, is a past perfect verb, or the verbs are used in a sentence. Had plus a verb in the third form is used in a sentence. That sentence is supposed to be a sentence in the past perfect tense. Okay. Now, after noticing the verbs had lifted and had taken, these sentences that we just read, these sentences which are given, are enough to explain or understand that the author had found and bought the desk in the past, right? But the desk was damaged and the veneer had lifted and fire and water both had taken a toll on the desk even before the author had bought the desk, right? So what we understand here is we use verb forms like had plus verb in the V3 form for an event in the earlier past. If there are two events in the past, two things that have happened in the past, we use had plus V3 form of the verb for the event which had occurred first in the past. Okay? Tell me if you understand. I give you an example. The class had left the auditorium before I reached there. You reached there in the past. Now in the present you're talking about this. Okay? But you reached the auditorium in the past. So reached is in the simple past form. But the class, your class that was in the auditorium, had left even before you reached the auditorium. earlier in the past. That event had occurred earlier in the past, first in the past. Okay, so had left. Can you see? HAD, had, LEFT, left, had left. Had plus V3 form of the verb leave, left. Okay, the class had left the auditorium before I reached there. We also use past perfect tense to show that something was wished for. Like, I always had wanted one. I always had wished for. I always had prayed for. Okay? A wish or an expectation, particularly in the past. Fine. Now, discuss with your partner the difference in the meaning in the sentences below. Now, you are at home. You might have your brothers or sisters or even your mothers who might take your studies. You have to discuss the difference between these two sentences based on the explanation that we have done so far. Okay, we have done the explanation about simple past tense and past perfect tense. The formula for simple past tense is verb in the past tense, verb in the past form, simple past form, that is ed. And for irregular verbs, the spelling changes. You know that, right? And the formula for past perfect is had plus verb in the V3 form, right? Fine. Now the two sentences are, when I reached the station, the train left. See, reached the station, the train left. Reached is in the simple past form. When I reached the station, the train left. The train left in front of my eyes. It hadn't left until then. I reached the station and I could see the train leave. There is only one action that has happened in the past, that is, I reached the station. Now, in the second sentence, there are two actions happening. So you have to decide which action had happened earlier in the past and which action had happened later in the past. Okay, when I reached the station, the train had left. Even before I reached the station, the meaning of the sentence is, even before I reached the station, the train had left. When I reached the station, the train had already left. Means the train left even before he reached the station. That is the first action. That is why it has the verb had along with it. Okay, and reaching the station is the later action. Fine. So there's an exercise given again. Fill in the blanks using the correct form of the verbs in the brackets. Now you have to decide where to use the simple past verb and where to use the past perfect verb. My little sister is very naughty. When she came back from school yesterday, she had torn her dress. Now, her dress had torn even before she reached home from school. It had happened in school. So, had torn her dress. Okay? That is how you have to do the whole exercise. You have to decide where to use the simple past tense verb and where to use the past perfect verb. Moving ahead, we turn the page to page number 18. We have another exercise. Underline the verbs and arrange them in two columns, past and earlier past. Earlier past means the verb along with had. Exactly. Earlier past is the verb along with had, and past is simple past with an ed. Okay? Or for irregular verbs, the spelling completely changes. You know. So the first one I will do for you. Rest you can do and fill in the columns given below. My friends set out to see the caves in the next town, but I stayed at home because I had seen them already. See, had seen them. Earlier past, I had seen them even before them. So had seen will come in the earlier past column and stayed will come in the past column. Okay? Fine. In the same manner, you will do B, C and D and fill in the columns below. Moving ahead, dictionary work on the same page. By the end of the journey, we had run out of drinking water. Look at the verbs run out. Run and out. Now they are two different words, but they are used as a combo. They are used in a combo. And when they are used in a combo, they become a phrase. I have taught you this. Words coming together and giving away a single meaning are called phrases, right? A couple of words coming together and giving out a single meaning are called phrases. So here we have many examples given by them. See, find these phrasal verbs in the story. Below are given many examples of phrasal verbs. Why are they called phrasal verbs? Phrasal verbs often have meanings that are different from the meanings of their parts. They are two different words, okay? They are different parts. Burn is a different part and out is a different part. Burn alone stands as a different meaning, as a different word. Out alone stands and it has a different meaning. But when they come together, burn out, they give us a third meaning, which is different from burn and different from out. Burnout, okay? Light up. Likewise, light alone gives a different meaning. Up alone gives a different meaning. But then when they come together, they give a different and third meaning, right? So these are few phrasal verbs from the lesson. You have to find these phrasal verbs in the story and probably you can circle them or underline them, highlight them as you like it. Okay. After phrasal verbs, we have some noun phrases. Now read the following sentences below. I took out a small black tin box. The phrase in italics is a noun phrase. Small black tin box. All these four words are written in italics, and the reason they are written in italics is they are a noun phrase. What do you mean by a noun phrase? It has a noun box. That is a head word. And along with the head word, there are three adjectives preceding it. There are three adjectives before the word, right? So they denote the noun. They give away more information about the noun. Notice the order in which the adjectives occur. First, size adjective, then the color adjective, then the material adjective. This is the order in which you place adjectives before any given noun. We rarely use more than 4 adjectives before a noun, and there is no rigid order in which they are used. Okay, you can use adjectives in any manner, but then there is a preferred order. They are saying there is a preferred order. People prefer using this order because it makes the language simpler and more understandable. Okay, it gives the language a standard. So the preferred order of modifiers or adjectives in a noun phrase is given below in the box. See, determiners are a, an, and the. We know they are also called as articles. Modifier number 1, whenever you describe a noun, you are going for a noun phrase. You give adjectives before the noun. The first kind of adjective that you're going to use is the feeling or the opinion. How was it? The second modifier that you will use is the size, shape, or age of the noun. How old, how young, how tall, how thin, or what shape was it. The third modifier that you will use is the color of the noun. What color was the noun in? Okay, whether it was light, dark, it was red, green, yellow, it was shaded, it was partly shaded, or whatever it is. Modifier number 4 will be your material, out of which the noun was made. It was silk, cotton, woolen as given in the box. It was, you can also say it was metallic, woolen and things like that. And the last thing that will come will be your noun. And all these words preceding the noun are your modifiers. Okay, when you use these number of adjectives in front of before the noun, it is called a noun phrase. Fine. Number 4, the table below contains a list of nouns and some adjectives. Now this is an activity. Use as many adjectives as you can to describe each noun. You might come up with some funny descriptions of your choice. The nouns are given in the blue boxes, and then you have to use adjectives. You have to write adjectives, as many adjectives as you can for the nouns given in the blue box. Fine. So they have listed adjectives like circular. They have used adjectives like circular, striped, enormous, multicolored, round, cheerful, wild, blue, red, chubby, large, medium sized, cold. And likewise, you can use many other adjectives for all these verbs. Face, you can use clear, um, shiny, bright. Or for a building, you can use adjectives like tall building, or clean building, or my building. Okay. Mm, the building, what other adjectives for building will be like,